One of the interesting things here at Placid Harbor, all the participants do critiques on camera where they can sit and correct their mistakes.
That's terrific. I've been here for 2 weeks.
I know Pat Ziska's a vicious questioner.
Oh, yeah. When he gave me that interview with that reporter thing,
yeah.
I felt like getting him by the throat and strangling him, but I thought better of it.
I think one of the best things that has come out of this school is to see these young people jump up, move in, and respond to the challenge. And it just gives you a great thrill. It's our future.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Placid Harbor, Maryland, is a landmark educational center for organized labor. It is the IAM's link to the future for thousands of union members. Placid Harbor is a training ground that teaches everything from the policies of corporate America to the politics of time and group psychology. Years ago, this piece of land was privately owned. It was a preserve for the very rich. Today, it is owned by nearly 1 million working men and women. It is now a center for enlightenment and learning.
Fire investigators today are looking into the possibility of arson in a fire that...
Today it is the information age that is shaping our future. Minds, not muscles, are doing the stretching.
One of the suspects in this...
Here's your agenda.
During the next 12 months, hundreds of union members will attend classes at the IAM Education Center in Placid Harbor, Maryland. These men and women will learn techniques of organizing, business management, finance. They will learn leadership skills in negotiating classes, how to handle grievances, how to promote a safe, helpful work environment.
The voice that counts in the future is going to be the voice that's informed, that's knowledgeable, that's articulate, and gets out in front. And that means new initiatives, new programs, doing things differently than we've ever done them before. That's where Placid Harbor comes in. When I grew up, it was the thugs and the goons with the blackjacks and the rather aggressive attitudes that always caused problems on picket lines and everything else. And today it's a lot more subtle than that. Today it's the slimline briefcase, the three-decker suit, sharp young college graduates who have specialized in the antithesis of what we're doing here. Specialized in learning how to subvert the nation's labor laws, subvert worker interests, and union bust, because that's the net result of what they do. It's the fastest growing industry in the United States of America for a decade now. And to counteract that, we've got to teach concrete skills, teach all of the values, reteach some of the economics that children learn these days, because the country is still hooked on the mythology of free enterprise. They got a free labor market where 10 million people can walk around unemployed on any given day, but that's about all that's free in the marketplace these days.
The implements of labor may change, new tools for new jobs, but the objectives of the labor movement remain the same. IAM General Secretary Treasurer Eugene Glover.
The future of our organization lies in the hands of its leadership. It's getting tougher and tougher to do the job. And what we need now is training and those skills that are necessary to meet the challenges of tomorrow.
Okay, we've talked about several things in group dynamics. We've talked about...
Our biggest problem with training was that we didn't have a central location for it. We've been committed to education through our leadership schools and our orientation classes, but we suffered from having a central location where we could develop the program at any time of year and not just depend on the vacation season for the colleges. The members like the instructions that they get. The instructors down here are very professional. They've been schooled in their business, and they know how to get the message across, and they're IAM members.
So time has a very definite meaning here in the United States. Very definite. It's a thing that is terribly important. It is one that can be used for and against you. Think about negotiations. Anybody that's had negotiations, 11th hour? The airline industry, they stop the clock. Time puts pressure on both sides. And it communicates something, all non-verbally. No written words, no spoken words. A non-verbal communication skill that people use in negotiations time and time again.
Placid Harbor Director Jerry Thompson.
If you paraphrase President Wimpensingher, he says, "This is our future." And I'm not inside of their minds, but I know how I feel about it. I know how I feel when I see these young leaders who are at that level of shop steward and local union officer in this place. I see myself 30 years ago sitting in a labor school just like it. And that interaction I had with the instructors and the other people from around the country. And I was like a sponge. I soaked it up. And I see them doing that. And I can see them leaving here and going back to their communities and you know, getting involved, not just in their local union activities or labor movements activities, but in community activities. And doing those things that are going to help people, it makes me feel very good about the future of the labor movement.
Placid Harbor is adding stronger voices to labor's call, voices that count in many places.
Hi, fellas. So we're coming around and trying to cover some of the things that you guys have been concerned about.
IAM Local 702 President Marty Ura.
I am proud of the IAM because it's looked up as a progressive union, the one that is trying the new things, like the way we have gone into communications, in dealing with the media. We have to put the word of the IAM and of Total Labor out in front of the public. They won't come to us. We have to go to the movie cameras, we have to go to the TV stations, we have to go to the radio stations and tell them what the real truth is about the labor movement, how it really works. They have a lot of misconceptions. Other unions are looking to the IAM methods of doing this, and with that, the future of the organized labor seems better.
When you talk about communications and communicating the trade union message, whether it be to your own members or to the outside public.
The IAM was the first union to monitor the way television portrayed organized labor in both news and entertainment programming.
For the rest of this afternoon, anyway, is television.
Television is the single most powerful medium for influencing and shaping public opinion in the world today. At the IAM Training Center, union members are learning techniques that will allow the IAM to speak with a stronger voice.
Manufacturing company where a multi-million-dollar fire last night blazed through buildings. I have with me here today Union Chieftain Wayne Camp, whose organization, the Machinist Union, is trying to organize this company. Sir, have you been contacted yet by the arson squad?
No, I haven't. The only thing I know about this fire, Pat, is what I've read in the paper and heard of the newspaper.
Well, I understand that, sir, but during this long and bitter campaign, there's been some harsh words on both sides. You must admit that, don't you, Mr. Camp?
No, there has not been any harsh words from the union side. We have only stuck to the points and to the issues. We are getting a message to the people. We're trying to turn on the people, not turn off the people.
Okay, one point on here. First of all, at this point, who is controlling the interview? Wayne is, definitely. Now, there's one thing he missed. Pat called him
Union
Chieftain, or more commonly, the union boss. Let me give you a tip on that. Let's get that corrected right up front. Right out in the beginning of the interview. Don't let it sit. Correct it right up front. Don't let a mistake stand.
Placid Harbor is also a place to learn away from the classroom. A 24-hour environment to exchange new ideas, explore new tactics.
We're accustomed to talking one-on-one to people. And when you're talking to the camera, very impersonal, very cold fish. And if you go through this kind of experience, then you learn you can look at the camera and you can still articulate.
Well, I think the thing is, what we find out is where the older ones used to have to learn by trial and error. We can take advantage of seeing these pitfalls before we come to them now. And while it might be a little bit late for we older ones, I say again that these younger boys are diving in there and, man, they are really soaking it up.
Here we can teach the basics and the fundamentals. We can teach the history of our movement, which becomes more and more shrouded because it isn't taught at all in the public school system these days. And give our young people who are going to go out and do the heavy work a background against which they can really perform. A head start, if you will.
Placid Harbor is unique among American educational systems. Placid Harbor costs each IAM member about 30 cents a month. If you think education and training cost too much, compare the cost of ignorance.